Hey, everybody. Wanted to hop in and do day 3 of the leadership devotional that I began on February 1st. And obviously, we're on day 3. It's February 3rd. And I'm doing this from John Maxwell's daily devotional on leadership. And it's a great read, great book, great devotional. And so, obviously, I'm going live and doing this each day in hopes that what I'm doing in this devotional will also help you to become a better leader as well. Today's devotional is called "Give Up." Mm. Well, let's see what he's talking about. James 1:2 says, "My brethren, count it all joy when you fall into various trials." So, what does he mean by give up? He goes on to say, "What price are you willing to pay to be a more effective leader?" One of the finest examples of sacrifice by a leader in the Bible can be seen in the life of Moses. He could easily be the poster child for leadership sacrifice. He grew up like a son of a pharaoh, a prince. As a boy, he enjoyed every privilege and pleasure of the palace. Yet Moses risked all of that to try to help his people. And in fact, he lost everything. After murdering an Egyptian, he faced exile in the desert of Midian. And for 40 years, he lived with the sacrifice he had made before learning that God intended to use him as a leader. By then, Moses had undergone the breaking and remaking process required for him to be used by God. As a leader, you may not be asked to leave your country or give up all your possessions as Moses was, but you can be sure that leading others will have a price. Uh, I think about the breaking and remaking process that I've gone through probably more than once in my life. Matter of fact, I believe I'm probably in the midst of one of those breaking and remaking processes as we speak. Last year I made a decision to leave a 16-year relationship that was extremely toxic. And it was a huge battle, inner struggle to walk away from that toxic relationship. But I knew that if I stayed where I was, if I stayed in that toxic situation that I had been in for so long, that I would never be the person or become the person that God's called me to become. I would never be the leader that God has called me to be. And in making that decision to walk away, to end that toxic relationship, there were obviously some sacrifices that needed to be made, and there were some things that I had to give up in my life, things that I cherished and that I cared for, and to say the least, obviously that's a very tough thing to do and a tough thing to go through. And so I know as you're watching this today, many of you are in that breaking and remaking process in your own lives. And I know that God is doing something big in you right now. And so I encourage you, I encourage you today to stay focused on what God has for you, the plan He has for your life, the direction He's taking you in, and stay focused on being the leader that God has called you to be. And so in this life, there are going to be times where we are going to have to make some really, really tough decisions in this life. And as long as those decisions are getting you closer to the place that God is calling you to go to, then just know that every step of the way, He's going to be there to guide you, to protect you, and to give you that strength necessary to make it to the other side of that, whatever it might be. So, like Moses went through some very tough times, but look what God did with him. Moses had to walk away from a situation that was, in the eyes of the world, right? Everybody else is on the outside looking in, going, "Man, Moses is really, he's got it made." But the reality is that Moses was not where he was supposed to be, and not where God wanted him. And God moved him out of that place, and God allowed him to go through the process of growing to become that leader that he was going to use in a mighty, mighty way. I hope this encourages you today. God bless you, and we'll see you tomorrow.